So, and everyone, I hope I can be heard as I should. Please let me know if I can't. We've had some connection issues, which is why this, if you're watching this back on YouTube, it's going to be divided into two parts. If you're watching live, this means this is a new stream that's just going to feature the Grand Prix. We're going to be waiting a couple of minutes on the grid for everyone to get their setups and strategies on accordingly before we can get going. For whatever reason, I don't think my overlays are working yet again. Just severely annoying me, so I'm going to just try fixing that real quick. See if we can get those back up. If not, then this is going to look really, really weird, and it is looking really, really weird. This is an issue we had at the beginning of this season. I don't know why it's popped back now. So I'm just going to try to sort that real quick. Maybe if we bring this up, it'll make some sort of difference. So I'm going to try that. So I do apologize about the quality of everything. Okay, so that is working, which is giving me a good idea if this is not going to work. So I'll switch back to the old scene, and now you're getting some technical insight of how the stream works from your friendly old commentator. And now everything is working nice and well. And we have the usual look of the stream in order. We're not going to be switching over from this now, hopefully, and everything is working. Hopefully, no more connection issues as well. Everything should just be running smoothly from now. But it's the second connection issue of the season, I think. I had to do a lobby restart. So, and it's just going to be a little bit of time before we get this Grand Prix underway. Set the dry conditions as was supposed to be for the Grand Prix, and the original starting order set in qualifying with Matty on pole position for this race, then followed by Tess and his teammate Ray. So it'll be an interesting race this. How is Matty's race pace going to hold up? Can he get that elusive first win of the season? He's not been able to get a win so far. Is he going to be able to do so tonight? We shall wait and see. As Matty's saying, not used to clear air at the start. Bit of self-criticism, I'm sure, there as well. It's not entirely a joke, that from Matty Adams. So hopefully we can just get this race in order now, and hopefully without any more connection issues. But everything should be sorted as for the lobby options. So then everyone, the ready up has been given for this race to get underway. So it'll be going in about 30 seconds. So then everyone, all drivers will be racing in 30 seconds time for the Australian Grand Prix. Couple of technical issues, but hopefully everything is working fine. Let me know if the stream is looking as good as it should as well. Hopefully no major issues with that. Now that we've had to restart it, we'll wait and see, however, what types of problems have come of this little endeavor. As here we go then, Matt is going to be taking start on the formation lap from Tess and Ray. Recon in fourth, qualified ahead of Holman and Luna, P5 and P6. Luna will be slightly disappointed with the fact that the qualifying session turned dry. She was incredibly quick under the wet conditions. We'll watch out for that further on this season. Noah in 7th, Djokovic in 8th, Iwat in 9th, and Reina in 10th. Mac is P11, followed by Wigan in 12th, Darren in 13th, a Beat in 14th, Kit in 15th, and Mr. Wilco in 16th. If you have not watched the qualifying session yet, if you're watching this back later on YouTube, then go and watch the qualifying session ahead of this. It was an interesting qualifying session indeed, 18 minutes long, full of drama, a lot of things going on there right at the very end. Unfortunately, it was very abruptly interrupted, but it was a really interesting session to behold. Looking at starting tyres, Matt is going to be starting on the hard tyres, not wanting to stay in that clear air for too long, evidently. Tess, alongside him, is going to be starting on the mediums. Expect to see the Mercedes past in the first couple of laps. It's going to be hard for Matty to defend away from Tess on hard tyres. Ray going on hards as well. The track that does spawn a safety car every now and again. Recon, Holman, Luna, and Noah all starting on the mediums, and then there's a lot of hard tyres on the left-hand side of the screen for the rest of the field. So then Matty's first start from pole position in I don't know quite how long as well. So this will be interesting. This will be very, very interesting indeed. Matty weaving like a madman to get his tyres all warmed up. Tess just behind him, relatively comfortable in his Mercedes. Ray starting up in P3, his best start of the season as well, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see what he's going to be able to do. Recon in 4th, Holman in 5th, and Luna in 6th. Recon, one of the drivers that are really impressed this season on. Good qualifying effort from him. Is he going to be able to convert that into a second podium this season? We'll wait and see. Has 2 podiums already, could become 3 after tonight. Mr. Wilco starting in 16th. It's going to be difficult for him, but not impossible. We shall wait and see. But here we go. The Grand Prix is about to get underway. A predicted 1 stop for the front guys as we're just waiting for the lights to come on. As here we go then, we have 5 red lights, and it is lights on, away we go, and Matty gets away well, so does Tess. Matty covers the inside relatively aggressively though, trying to cover off Tess, and Tess is not going to be able to do anything about him on the inside into turn 1. Ray trying to just have a little go at Tess. We have a yellow flag in sector 1, and we have a virtual safety car immediately. We've had a problem with Marina and Djokovic at the very back. A BT as well, I believe, has been involved in something in the first corner and got a couple of cars down a few positions. Kit, good start up 4 positions. And Marina and Djokovic 5 and 8 positions respectively, and Djokovic without a front wing, his day is gone from bad to worse. But a high chance of a safety car around here. We'll wait and see how this race unfolds. Matty then, crucially on this race start, got away well. Managed to hold on to the lead. Now needs to keep Tess behind him, and Tess crucially needs to get a good restart here to keep Ray behind him. So I believe everyone is speeding up to maybe just be about to get up to racing speed again. No, we're slowing down a little bit. Difficult to follow the delta on this game. Very, very difficult. And it usually catches someone out on the restart for a drive-through penalty, which could be quite costly around here. But it's a slightly shorter pit lane than we have at other circuits, so it's not going to be that bad. We'll wait and see how this goes then, and where the virtual safety car ends. Here we go then, green flag and no penalties issued, which is absolutely lovely. Through the last corner then, Tess, just slight contact with the wall there, I believe. Could that allow Ray maybe a little look down the inside into turn 1? He's gonna be going for that inside, but he's not anywhere near enough to make a move. And now Tess is on the hunt for Matty in P1. Luna 2 positions up in P4. Is that a good start? She's all over the back of that Alpine, getting very close under the braking. Also good starts from Wigan up 3 positions, and aforementioned Kit 4 positions up on the opening lap. Holman staying neutral in P5. Recon not having the best of starts. He's the only one to have lost positions without being involved in some type of incident. Djokovic and Marina and Beatty are all in the pit, so they'll be carrying out their little private race at the end of the field currently. So here we go then, the race is underway, and Tess is very close to the back of Matty Adam. Ray is very close to the back of Tess. The DRS is open, mind you, past lap 1 now in Formula 1, so Tess now able to attack with DRS on Matty Adam, who's on the hard tyre. That is going to be a slightly longer crossover period between these 2 tyres. So Matty's going to be under relatively heavy pressure for a long time here if he wants to be able to keep Tess behind him. You can just see how much more grip Tess has on those mediums going through the final corner then. And could a move happen already up at turn 1? Matty just moves slightly to cover the move off, tries to entice Tess out of it, and now down into turn 3. Tess just a little bit too far behind to think about it, but Ray dives it down the inside of Tess, and that's an opportunistic little move, but it's quite unsuccessful in the end. But it was worth a go from Ray, and has slowed Tess down a little bit, having to react to it. That's the type of lunch you love to see every now and again when you can carry it out cleanly. Just have a little go. See if it succeeds. Here we go then. Second DRS zone of the track. And now Tess is going to be closing in rapidly on the Alpine ahead of him. Inside, outside, Matty just covers that off. Tess staying behind, but carrying speed through that chicane is tricky. Now is he going to be able to have another go at him? Ray might have another go at Tess if he doesn't. And the top three hold positions. Ullman then in the middle of this train. It is a big train down to P6. All of them running within DRS distance of each other. Ullman just outbrakes himself a little bit. Has to take avoiding action. Won't do him any favors. Comes round the final corner, and that is Recon who comes round in the final corner, and that has brought out the first safety car of the day. Full safety car then. And now, are we going to see any strategy games? It's very, very early to have the safety car, which might be an advantage for someone like Matthew and Ray started on the hards, because I don't think Tess is going to be able to go onto a set of hard tires and go to the end as of yet. But we have a full core safety car, and that is going to be good news for Djokovic and Marina and a BT, let me tell you that. And a BT is going to take full advantage of that as well, straight into the pit lane and go for a race restart on brand new, maybe even soft tires, hard tires going on actually. Could he be trying to go to the end? 25 laps on a set of tires. It's an awful long way to go. But the safety car then is letting them go around yet another lap then before they pick everyone up. So it's going to be a bit of a longer safety car period potentially, or just one lap, we'll wait and see. This game always ends with a surprise or two, but Matty's covered off these first couple of laps brilliantly. Reyes looked feisty on Tess initially, almost like the hard tyre performs just slightly better potentially as a race tyre. Luna doing very well, not facing any severe pressure. It's all within that DRS train that it happens. And it all depends on setup as well. What kind of downforce levels are these guys running? Is Matty running lower downforce than Tess? It's going to be hard then for Tess to get by. Is Ray running lower downforce setups than Tess? Then he's in a little bit of danger at the moment, is Tess. Keep in mind he has a championship to think about as well. His championship rival isn't here, just picking up a 15 points would do a lot in his championship battle, and he's got to take full advantage of this now. It's 3 points over Squidge 2017, who those two really have left the entirety of the field behind. 79 points in championship leader on that is Tess, followed by 73 points for Squidge. Next car in line, if I'm not mistaken, is Holman on a, I'm not going to say mere 33, but significantly lower 33 points. There goes the McLaren of a BTM. Reina is on the back of Djokovic as they're all trying to catch up the rack at the safety car pack. But no one inside that top 10 has made a pit stop under the safety car. No one really electing to. Recon now in a relatively good position though, having made his mandatory pit stop. What tire is that Haas on? He's on hard tires and could go a long way into this race. We'll see what's what for him. We're on board with Matty Adams. Ray has left the session. We'll give him an invite straight back. We can get everything underway here. There we go. Thankfully it's on the safety car, which means he's not going to be losing any time because of it. As I don't know if it's the EA service, but I'm getting a very worrying communicating with online services message. It's worrying indeed. As a BT gets a drive-through penalty, oh no, for speeding under the safety car. His trial. How has he gotten that? I thought it was allowed to go at Prix speed at this stage. How has he picked up that penalty? I really thought he was allowed to go any pace he wanted under this stage of the safety car. What has gone on there? Why has the game issued Beatty a drive-through? Well, he should have been allowed to go around at racing pace to catch up. That is interesting to say the least. Safety cars coming in this lap. Beatty will be forced to serve that penalty early on as well. Which is going to make him severely unhappy. It'll make me severely unhappy. Matt in control of this restart now. Tess shortly behind him. Let's see if we can avoid any safety car restart controversy, as is a reference to just yesterday. There's Oscar Piastri and Max Verstappen get close, let's just say that. As here we go then, Matty in P1, followed by Tess in P2, Ray in P3, still ghosted. Luna in 4th, Holman in 5th, Noah in 6th, Watts in 7th, Wigan in 8th, Max in 9th, and Kit in 10th. When does Matty decide to go? He's already decided to go. It's an early restart for Matty, who backed the pack up a lot just to be able to go at his chosen moment. And that's a good restart for Matty, who's created almost a second worth of breathing room immediately. Now, cars are free to overtake each other, and Luna goes past the ghost of Ray, who loses another position to Holman. I've handed him several invites. Hopefully, he can get back into this lobby, because it's been a damn good qualifying session for that Alpine driver, who's chasing his first win in NEF1, first podium of the season. Matty stays clear of Tess for the time being, but now they're left to it. Luna in P3, and now it's a straight battle for the lead of this race. Medium tires versus hard tires, only 2 cars involved in this. So here we go, Matty versus Tess. No DRS will be enabled until next lap as well. First lap always without DRS. Tess is very, very aware of as well. He's not going to be trying anything overly significant on this lap. Just got to stick with Matty, whose tyres now could be nearing an operating window where they just work slightly better, but probably just a couple of laps off any real gains on that hard tyre, especially with it being a couple of laps on the safety car. And a one-stop now, definitely the preferred strategy heading into this race. DRS is enabled by race control, so here we go. Matty Adam 98 versus Tess for the first time this season, well and truly. See, beat this race goes from bad to worse with a speeding in the pit lane penalty, and he has promptly retired from this race, I would assume out of anger, which I obviously can't condone, but I do very much understand it, with that drive-through penalty being issued for seemingly no reason. Yellow flag in turn 1 then. Here we go with the DRS enabled. Matty is just ahead of Tess, who's very much closing in on him, heading onto the braking zone of the chicane, and now he's going to have a go into the tricky braking zone in sector 3. Doesn't get close to Matty Adam. Question is, where can Tess think about making a move? Because it is difficult to follow around here. Get close enough to make a move as well. It might have to be into that chicane that you get that run. Turn 1, not really an overtaking zone. It's hard to follow through turn 2, and the Alpine of Matt is working well right now as well. Just look here, through turn 1, it's difficult for Tess on the exit to stick with Matty, just losing about half a tenth, maybe even a tenth of a second on the exit of turn 1. It's difficult to stick with, as Matty just locks an inside front. It's difficult to stick with, and as Ray's been able to rejoin this session. Unfortunately, he's promptly in last, but everything still to play for and 20 laps to go. I'll be disappointed restarting this race in last position. Would have been up battling away with these two. Here we go then. Tess, is he going to have a go into the chicane? I'm thinking he might realize he'll have to. He's going to stick behind. Matty is good through that chicane. He just pulls away a little bit. How much is Tess going to have to dump to have a go into the braking zone? We're just about to find out on the inside. Not close enough yet. Oh, and nibs a wheel into the gravel, and that is DRS advantage gone for the time being. Let's see if Tess can recover, but just gets a bit too anxious, dips a wheel into the grass, and now has lost, well, almost a second by that little mistake alone, and that has put Holman on the back of the Mercedes instead, and given Matty just a bit of breathing room. So Holman now is within striking distance of the Mercedes and could start closing in, but that Mercedes seems very, very quick in a straight line as well, without any type of DRS. Let's see now how Tess can recover and try to get out of DRS, crucially on Holman. Noah's making progress, starting a bit further down, not too far down though. Now it's made his way up in P4, and he is pacey around this place as well in the medium tyres. Is just on the back of Holman, and this should be an easy overtake for P3. Holman's not going to make this one difficult, and Noah moves into the podium places in Australia. He had a good chance at a podium last week out, but unfortunately a clumsy error under the virtual safety car, I believe, took away his chance at a podium in Vegas. Now though, is he going to be able to move upwards and start thinking about a move on the championship leader who do well for his season? I can promise you that. So it's an incredibly quick top three at the moment. Recon on the back of Makis by about half a second, closing in a lot on the braking there on the Aston Martin, losing that time on the exit again. It's those type of compromises that you have to deal with. But now, how is that Haas going to be able to follow around the final corner and onto the back or onto the first DRS zone? Through the first corner then, got to take a lot of inside curb, nib a tyre into the gravel, and then set yourself up maybe an overtaking opportunity into turn 3, but I don't think we're going to see too many moves there tonight. It doesn't feel like it. As the two Williams find each other close on track again as well. Djokovic in 9th, Win in 10th as Makis gets himself the first recent time penalty of the evening, and I'm sure it won't be the last one. Tess is just closing in a little bit on Matty by about 1/10 of a second per lap as well. Noah not quite running with these guys on pace right now. He's losing a couple of attempts. As Holman is able to stick with him, half a second is that gap. When is the crossover point between the hards and the mediums? When are those mediums going to start wearing down just a little bit? Matty, at a circuit which is relatively alike Saudi Arabia, where he really does fancy his chances, and he got agonizingly close to a race win here this season, what should have been a race win, realistically. Unfortunately, a penalty issue that we could not remove. At a track which is similar in nature as well, he's doing incredibly well again. What a contrast 1 week brings. Matty, last week out, qualified almost last on the grid, now qualifies on pole position and is leading this Grand Prix from the championship leader and Noah. It's an achievement in itself. As Recon now on the back of Iwat's gap is half a second, and we could see a move maybe into the chicane. Recon, 0.4 of a second is the gap as DRS opens. As he just sees that Mercedes get bigger and bigger, but not big enough. How is Iwat's exit coming out of the chicane though? It's not brilliant, and that could allow Recon a cheeky little move down the inside of the braking zone, as to back out of it, not quite alongside, in order to earn himself sufficient space. And just going a little bit wide in the sweeping right-hander that is almost flat when you run these cars on low fuel. as the gap between the front two remains about 1.1, 1.2 seconds, never breaking into the 1 second gap though, which is exactly what Matty needs right now. Keep Tess out of the DRS and out of striking distance, but Tess not really been able to threaten Matty so far in this first stint. However, there'll be a tyre flip between these two in a couple of laps time, and Tess should realistically get an undercut on Matty as well. When does Matty decide to pit to go on to the medium tyres? How long will they do? Could he pit at about lap 14, 15 to maybe mitigate that undercut somewhat and try to get on a tyre advantage? And could the hard tyres then of Tess come into play at the end of the race? The gap now is within 1 second, and the DRS should open at the end of the chicane. Now it's all one detection point. I completely forgot that. So how is Tess going to be able to follow through this third sector then? Closer now than it's been in quite some time, but it's just dropping a little bit into the slow sector is where it's dropping a little bit of time to Matty Adam. As Iwatts and Mackis going side by side, Mackis and Djokovic going side by side, Djokovic being able to clear him, and now free to chase after Iwatts as Mackis spins in sector 3, and that's a yellow flag. We have to be careful on the rejoin. As car's coming up ahead of him, and there is Mackis back on circuit, and should he go into the pit lane then potentially, probably get rid of those tyres. That'll be relatively hot. Holman on Noah Van is able to get back into a podium position now, 4 seconds back on the race leaders, and Matty's hard tyres now, I believe, have reached a point where they start operating a bit better. The gap has expanded to 1.6 seconds now from 1.1 just about a lap ago. So when does Tess pull the trigger on a pit stop? If he pit now, he'll be coming out in some clear air, well and firmly in last, but he'll be able to run uninterrupted laps to maybe try to undercut Matty. Does Matty have to think about maybe just compromising a second stint on the mediums a little bit by having to go long on them? Tess will have the luxury of probably choosing that for Matty in this situation. Matty staying out on this lap. Tess is coming into the pit lane. Here we go, and it's a tricky pit lane entry this as well. Easy to just go a little bit too quick in as Tess just gets that slowed down, but it's sliding into the pit lane. Hard tyres going on the Mercedes, and now where is he going to come out? You get very compromised on the pit entry here, and I believe Tess is in a situation where he could be compromised potentially. Wait and see. Now he's going to be coming up behind that train, so he'll be able to run relatively uninterrupted. Now though is the question, is he going to get caught between these slightly slower cars, and is that going to allow Matty to potentially slot into a gap and pit ahead of him? He'll be coming in, or he'll be coming out in a lot of traffic he'll have to navigate though. So Matty now with a couple of crucial laps for this race. And how good are the hard tyres when you've bolted them on in the middle of a race? Tess is closing in on Luna, who's not going to be overly easy to overtake, I don't reckon. Ray is doing a mighty job at the moment, by the way. He's back up into 5. Back up in a P5 after being last when he came back into the lobby 6 laps ago. Ray is doing a mega job right now that deserves to be commended. Yellow flags in sector 3, and it's a Sauber, I believe, who's had an issue. That'll be Rain, I'm quite sure, as Tess is running behind Kit and Luna. Matty right now is staying out for one more lap. Tess currently sitting in P10 behind Luna, but a lot of cars coming into the pit lane now. He's going to allow these guys to start running a bit less interrupted. 10-second time penalty, Darren Style speeding into the pit lane. Tess now, is he going to be able to clear that Sauber? Moving slightly defensively is Luna. Sticking well and truly on the outside though. Tess not able to get by as of now. Should be able to get that move done into the chicane. So we're looking with a bit of interest as to what Matt is going to be doing with about 14 laps to go at this stage. pushing relatively hard on this lap, which would indicate a pit stop coming. Just wanting to create a bit of air, as Tess has now been able to make it past the Sauber of Luna as well. He's going to be storming on. Is Matty coming in? Yes, he is. Now, how's Tess going to be responding in this third sector? It's a sector behind Matty at the moment. Matty needed to have gotten a good pit entry. I don't know if he did. He's going to be close on the exit this potentially. Keep in mind you're compromised on the exit as you get out of this pit lane. You're very, very compromised. Here we go then. Where does Matty come out in comparison to Tess? This is going to be close. Matty's just going to be ahead, but Tess is going to be able to carry so much more speed. And here we go. This is the run that Tess has been waiting for. If he can just get the power down coming out of that corner. No DRS. Tries around the outside. Matty covers it off and now has to make instant use of those medium tires to try to shake Tess away. How good are the medium tires? They didn't do Tess any favors at the beginning of this race in that effort. We'll wait and see as Holman has disconnected. I'll just have to give him an invite in just a moment. I'll do that in Sector 3 when everything calms down, because here we go. Tess on Matty now, where the tires have been reversed, and Tess is closing quick to the inside of chicane. Not yet. Is Matty going to receive DRS? Nah, here we go. Tess rounds the outside. There's another Alpine ahead of him. He's got to get promptly out of the way. Matty on the inside, Tess on the outside, and Tess gets shown the door by Matty, who shuts it. Well and truly, good racing from them both. Matty holding on to P1. As here we go then, Tess just losing a bit of time through that final corner now, where Matty has the advantage on that better tyre for the time being. But think about this, the more Matty races on those tyres, the more he wears them down. Tess's tyres are more durable, and we saw that towards the end of last stint. How much is that going to come into effect? How much will it come into effect? How good are the mediums of Matty? Luna currently running in P3. She's made a good strategy call there. Where has Ray gone off to after the pit stops? P10. But well and truly in contention for more if he can keep good pace up. So here we go then. Tess now again within striking distance. Tess mistake, has been able to make a mistake around here though. Is now the time that he realizes he's got to make a move into the chicane. Side by side, the two goes. Oh, it's close between them, but Matty just has to see position now. Tess is able to... I'm so used to seeing Matty and iPods battle from the old days. Tess just able to open defensive DRS after the chicane as well, but Matty is pushing him through the third sector and now cannot allow Tess to get away with this one. This is good. This is all the intrigues of a fantastic battle, this. Tess promptly covers the inside. Matty well and truly tucks into the slipstream. Is he going to be able to do something into turn one? He follows him through. How's the exit? It's hard to follow around there. It's so hard to follow. And not going to be close enough to make a move into turn 3. Matty now got to go an entire sector behind Tess without losing too much time before the next overtaking zone, which is into the turn 9-10 chicane. But this is a corner now where Matty should be able to just go a little bit quicker than Tess on these new tyres. But Dirty Air is very effective now on this game. You definitely do feel it. Matty's going to be feeling the effects of that right now. Here we go then. Tess has been able to clear a little bit of a gap. How is Matty going to be closing that under the exit though, onto the second DRS zone? Rather well, but he's not going to be, again, within striking distance here. Matty might have to play the long game here. The thing is, Tess is on the better tyre in the advantageous position. Those hard tyres, I think we can confirm, are a better race tyre than the mediums. And it's hard driving between these two now. 1 foot wrong, and it's into the wall for the pair of them. Tess has to cover it off on that start-finish straight. He has to go defensive every time to try to shake Matty off his slipstream. So here we go, into turn 3, Van Matty hunting down the Mercedes, not close enough. almost within 3/10 of a second, well within 4/10. Turns to half second as we're midway around sector 1. 10 laps to go, and this battle is going to be heating up for a couple of laps until the mediums of Matty have decided they might have done their thing. Oh, as Tess hits a wall for whatever reason. That wasn't lag. It was a massive loss of focus for Tess. And it might well allow Matty to have a little go. And could that have actually gone Tess front wing damage? Oh, that front wing is intact, but it has allowed Matty to close up significantly. What was that moment from Tess? Bit of unfocus, if nothing. Oh, that's not a brilliant corner for Matty. That goes wide, losing a bit of time now as well. And Tess is just able to pull away from the pressure ever so slightly at this stage. She is ever so good at. Djokovic right now is doing a mega job as well. He's on the back of Recon. Luna has... let me just check those strategies real quick. Yeah, she's going to be able to go to the end on those tires. Potentially on the way to a maiden podium in NEF1 as well. Should be a good result. Djokovic hunting down Recon. It's a long way up to Noah and Luna ahead of him. In just a couple of laps to do it. Not impossible, but difficult. How much can Matty close in on Tess on these two straights? Gets a good run out, gets a good run through the chicane, struggles out of the chicane though, and that's just going to allow Tess to maintain a healthy advantage out front. Matty needs to just be slightly better through this third sector in order to maintain a small advantage and maybe think about making a move into turn 1 even. And he's kept it tidier this time around. Now a bit closer to Tess again. I can start chasing the Mercedes, and he's catching. Is it going to go down in turn 1? No, it's not. Is this Matty now taking the last bit of life out of his tires, saying, I need to get by now. Maybe, hopefully, Tess makes a mistake, as I do. But he probably has a window of about 2 laps now to get this move done before those tires fall off a little bit. It's intense driving. This is not going to be giving them any rest at all. Keep track limit warnings in mind as well. But here we go. Matty significantly closer this time around than it was last time. Closing and closing and closing. Djokovic, 3-second time penalty for track limit warnings. Different lines for Tess and Matty through that one corner. As Tess feels the need to cover up the inside, and Matty almost pushes him around that corner at the end, where Tess just had a moment relatively early on the race, dipping her wheel into the grass and losing a bit of time. Matty almost does the same. But this is hard racing between the two, and it's so easy to get caught up in the battle for the lead, but we always have a battle for the lead now in NEF1. You had to do something truly spectacular in the midfield to get that battle showcased, because the battle out front is always of such incredible quality. Here comes Matty once again then. Is it worth maybe battery dumping into turn 3 and having to go there? Oh, Tess locks an inside wheel. And just look at the time they're breaking out on Luna whilst this battle is going on as well. They're going so quickly. They're not wheel to wheel yet, which means they're just pulling each other away from the... I'm not going to say from the back of the pack, but from the midfield. That is Luna downwards for these two, as Matty gets oh so close, well within 0.2 of a second. But then again, losing that momentum coming through the chicane. And that chicane might be the place where Matty has to make that move stick. Needs to be ever so close in order to make it work though, and Tess just now has the edge on these hard tires. Matty putting him under heavy pressure, and Tess is feeling a 25-point swing in the championship in his favour would be relatively comfortable. Matty thought he was going for the inside of turn 1 there, but not quite. Is he going for an inside of turn 3? Tries to get Tess to shake off his line a little bit, and Tess does get uncomfortable there, locking an inside wheel, moving off his line, which just allows Matty to move that bit more forward. Matty knowing what he's doing now, just trying to get Tess to move off the line, make adjustments, and make a mistake. 4/10 of a second now as we get into the DRS zone. Matty, is he going to go for everything for a move into the chicane here? He needs to get ahead of the Mercedes. He needs to, and he might well be able to. Round the outside of the chicane, he's going to try it. Forces Tess to go wide on the curb, and now he's well and truly here for a chance at an overtake into the braking zone. With DRS, Tess is going to hold the inside. Matty rounds the outside of Tess, and he gets that move done. They're still side by side though. Matty has the move done. Tess tucks in behind, and now Tess is going to be allowed to have a couple of goes at Matty. Overtaking here though, not easy. We just saw that Matty should have had the better tyres for a long time, wasn't able to get that move done, and now is the question, can Tess respond within the last couple of laps? But this is a monumental battle, and it was a hell of a move to seize the lead at the Grand Prix for Matty Adams. Tess, how long is he going to wait to make that move for the lead though? Is he going to wear down the tyres of Matty and try something on the last couple of laps? Is he going to try to get by immediately, knowing that Matty struggled to get by him initially? Has Tess learned why Matty was struggling to get by him as well? Matty set Tess up beautifully around this sector, and here comes Tess in relatively the same gaps. Gets very close in the chicane. Is Matty gonna cover to defend? No, he does not. Matty might have learned from being the attacking driver here, but Tess is gonna get a monumental run on him into the braking zone. Nothing Matty's gonna be able to do about that one, and that is the advantage of having the better tyres. Tess is able to go straight at Matty on the next lap. And could that have been the moment that decided this race? Is Matty's tyres beyond their best? 8 seconds ahead of P3, but Matty now 7/10 behind Tess almost instantly, and now it's going to be tricky. It's going to be very, very tricky. If nothing else, they might have given us one of the best battles of the season. If this goes on though somehow, then I will be flabbergasted. Matty now is losing time on Tess, who might have gotten the upper hand here. Into the chicane, Matty is gaining time on Tess, but again through that chicane, Tess now just holds the advantage. And has Tess got good enough tyres through this sector now to pull away by that half a second he needs from Matty with maybe a better battery usage, or is he saving up to maybe have to go defensive yet again? Matty's doing well to stick with, yet again, about half a second. And it's not over yet. 7/10 of a second separate these two. The gap is bigger than it has been. Oh, as Tess goes wide, and this is going to allow Matty a cheeky little move, maybe. Trying around the outside into the braking zone. Maybe should have tried the inside. Tess, is he going to give Matty any room? Yes, he does. Matty takes that room. The two collide. And oh, I was going to come out ahead of that one. Very close, almost side by side. Matty has a go at Tess, unsuccessfully. Tess is not mistake-free today. And now Matty within a shot of having to move into the chicane as well. He has defensive DRS if he can make it work. 2 laps remaining after this. He's got to pull a move off here out of the chicane, or this could be over. But Tess is so much better through there and has been all race while he's been out in front. And was that Matty's window? That little bit of a shaky move, or a little bit of a shaky moment from Tess coming out of turn 1? Or is he going to deliver a bit more? He's not able to pull away from Matty, but how are those batteries holding up? And how are those medium tyres on Matty holding up after all this battling as well? Tess's tyres are older, but way more durable. Matty looking towards the inside of turn 1, again trying to shake Tess off his line. It's close this time around though through turn 2. Matty looking for turn 3, but no, not this time. Tess locks a front. That gets Matty a bit stressed out though, almost losing the car on the entry and exit. Oh, 1 lap to go after this. Matty's gonna have to do something special if he wants to make by here. Tess is seemingly in control. Here we go then, with DRS. How much does DRS come into effect, and how much does Tess have to defend with as well, should Matty get a run on him? How many track limit warnings as well does Matty have to play with? Tess does not get a perfect exit out of his chicane, and this is going to allow Matty one last go perhaps. He's going to try to round the outside. Tess shuts the door on him. And now one last lap to decide this battle. The midfield coverage have gotten no coverage, I'm afraid, after this race. Oh, as that is Matty, unfortunately, with a little bit of a shaky move in just losing the car a little bit through sector 3, and that is gonna be it for the battle for the win. Noah's been able to regain a podium place from Luna. Djokovic has gone past Luna as well, who might have run out of tyres here at the end, but it could still be P4 for Luna, which would be a season best result as well. The battle for the win has gone on for the entirety of this race. We've not covered basically anything else. It's been that good. Tess and Matty putting on a show. Tess is going to emerge victorious in the end after what has been a brilliant race from the pair of them. Tess not mistake free. Matty could have had a chance maybe on the last lap, but that's when that mistake came that ended the battle. Iwatts has done well to stick into the points as well. Ray will be disappointed with this one, but at least scoring a couple of points as a constellation as for how this race has gone. He could have a go at Iwatts now as well. Just gonna sit back and watch this little battle unfold. Here we go then. Well-earned victory for Mercedes. Tess, 25 points swing in the championship. With his rival not here, Tess capitalizes and seizes a massive championship lead. Matty did everything he could. Unfortunately though, just running out of gas there at the end. But what a battle between the two. Noah comes home for his first podium of the season. Obviously didn't see too much of his race in the end, as Ray has DNF'd coming out of the last corner. Is that an incident with someone? I'm sure we'll find out after the race as well what has gone on there. Luna is going to finish 4th and Djokovic in 5th. Good recovery. Couple of thousandths behind Luna. Well done for the pair of them. Darren 10-second time penalty. Recon in 6th, Wilco in 7th, Iwatts finishing in 8th place, Wiggins first points of the season in P9, followed by Holman in P10. Gutted for Matty, but what a race in the end between himself and Tess that went down to the very, very wire. Clean air was the way to go in this race, and when Tess got it, he didn't want to look back. It was a hard-fought victory, maybe the hardest fought victory he's had this season, maybe the hardest fought victory he's had so far in NEF1, but my god. What a battle. And we're getting from everyone that the tyres fell off in that final, in those final laps as well, and I think we could see that from everyone's times as well. It was quite a drastic drop in Vienna. It is the victory of the Grand Prix then from Tess, who moves up a place from second. Noah takes a P3 after starting 6th. Wilco, good points, finish in 6th, qualified 16th, missed time qualifying, but a good result from him as well. Fastest lap to Rain, unfortunately, doesn't yield any points. But very, very good race from Luna as well. Started P6, finished 4th, not far off a podium in the end, but I'm sure it is coming. Congratulations, we say, to Tess, who extends his championship lead. Matty, absolutely fantastic battle all race long. He's not going to be caring about that right now, however, that'll have to sink in a bit later. Noah makes up the final step of the podium. But then that is gonna be it for this two-piece race. If you're watching this back later on, qualifying will be uploaded first, with race to be uploaded a bit later. Next week out, we will be doing a full qualifying session again. The only time this season we'll be doing so, because we are heading to the streets of Monaco for the Monaco Grand Prix. For the first time in a couple of seasons, we're heading back to Monte Carlo. Don't miss out on that one. It'll be an incredibly interesting race indeed. Until then, thank you so much for watching NEF1 yet again. Stay safe, good luck, and peace out.